Hi there, welcome to the Old Guy Rules. If this is your first time, hit the subscribe, hit the like and set your notifications so you never miss another video. A lot of people have been asking what our area is like now that we're kind of coming out of phase one of lockdown. So if you stick around, I'll show you exactly what it's like here. Now this is the area of Puerto Santiago, and as you can see, a couple of shops are starting to reopen. We have our local suppliers, the Chinese shop that is open, and also the Barbers is also open by appointment only. There's not actually a lot going on in Puerto Santiago. It is in fact more of a residential area. There are still very few restaurants and takeaways open. The chip shop is still closed at the moment, but Dom Mia does open during the evening for takeaway pizzas. The bus service is running, however, there is only access to buses from the rear door. And of course you have to wear masks at all times. We have got a few shops that are open, but sadly there's no one around to visit them because, as you well know, at the moment there are no tourists in Tenerife. So it is Saturday today, and of course the post office is closed, but under normal circumstances it would be open. The Camber Bar is open for business, and Lidl is also open. Lidl, one of the very few shops that is actually open on a Sunday still. So here I am. I'm standing on Lidl's car park waiting for my wife, who's just popped in and a few bits and bobs, and I'm having a look around, and one thing that doesn't change is the view. It's absolutely stunning. I'm actually quite surprised how quiet things are today. It's a Saturday and you would expect there to be a certain buzz around the place, but it's all quiet. There's only one or two people inside the supermarket, and in a way it's a little bit eerie. So here we are, we're heading down towards Los Gigantes, and part of today's exercise is to take a look how the roadworks are actually getting on in the town. It's been a while since we took a look, and as you can see, apart from the odd car and the odd person, there really is no one around. So we're now coming to the end of phase one of the lifting of the lockdown restrictions, and for me, I don't think there's been a lot of difference, to be honest. There's been a couple of bars open, not to full capacity, but generally speaking it's very much the same as it was when we first went into lockdown. The only difference is we have got a little bit more freedom of movement, but in reality I don't know where you're going to go because there's nothing open. This week Timothy Terrace managed to open its tennis courts only for singles games, not doubles. There are no toilet facilities, and sadly the bar is not yet open. So we're going to wait and see how long it takes Tipsy's to open. They are obviously one of the bigger venues in Los Gigantes, and I think they're a little bit of litmus paper really. When they start opening the bigger venues, then we could be coming out of lockdown for sure. So here we are, we're just coming into Los Gigantes, and someone asked me the other day, how are the roadworks getting on? And it's quite an interesting question, because a lot of workers have been able to go out to work, and that includes construction workers. So they've had a lot of time without the volume of traffic and people to crack on with what they have to do. So let's take a look and see just how far they've got. At this point in the town, there does seem to be a lot of bollards still around and a lot of unfinished roads. There are, of course, the fences up around the areas where they're doing the pavements, but the pavement seems to have extended on this corner in front of Simple Simon's much further out than it was before. It's still a bit of a bomb site, but nevertheless, it does look like progress is being made. At this point in the town, there still doesn't seem to be any top surface on the tarmac road yet. There is still a slight lip on each edge of the pavement. The planters, however, they haven't had the volume of footfall around, and it's given them a chance to really take hold, to the point where in amongst the plants there's an awful lot of weeds as well. When you get to this point, just outside the tea house, the tarmac surface is complete and there are no gutters on the pavement now. It's just one even flow right across, which is a bit better. And this is kind of an indication as to how it will look when it's all finished. I think it's looking absolutely brilliant at the moment. However, they do seem to be dragging their feet at the moment, given the fact that they have got the ideal opportunity to get on with the necessary roadworks. It's quite nice actually to stroll through town and see people sat on their balconies, people that you know, and you're kind of yelling up to them and they're yelling down to you, and you're having like a long distance conversation with people. It's absolutely brilliant. The junction here is virtually finished. It's the road surface and the pavements are absolutely fantastic, and the new street lighting is in. Sadly there's no one to see it, but the new street lighting is in, and I'm sure of an evening it looks absolutely superb. The place where the old information, the place where the old tourist information has now become an island, and it is slowly growing vegetation. It's going to look great when it's all established. It's kind of sad to see so many places closed, and when we first went into lockdown it was really quite devastating, but I think now 10 weeks in it's becoming the norm at the moment, and you're quite used to seeing shuttered and barred shops and restaurants, and you don't really take as much notice now as you did when we first was thrust into the lockdown situation. So as we speak, the actual town of Los Gigantes is looking so much better than it did prior to the roadworks. It's added a new dimension to the town, and we can't really be that far off finishing. As I walk around Los Gigantes, I do see signs of doors open on bars where they're preparing to go into phase 2, which starts on Monday. So there are signs of life slowly returning to Los Gigantes. At what speed that will happen, well, that's really anyone's guess. There are of course places that are still completely closed. Some of them I'm not even sure if they're going to open ever again. And obviously the smaller your bath, the more thought you have to give into opening, because at this present moment in time there are no tourists here, and there are only so many locals that can spread themselves around to support each individual bar or restaurant. So it's going to be very much a case of gently catch a monkey. Will we ever get back to normal? Who knows? But as it stands now, we really have no idea what normal is. Maybe we'll have to carve out a new type of normal for ourselves. So there we go. We're heading back to base now. That is what's happening in our area at this present moment in time. Don't forget to keep subscribing to the Old Guy Rules. Like us, set your notifications, share us with your friends, and we will keep you updated whenever we get the opportunity. I've been Eddie Hastings, you've been watching the Old Guy Rules. Bye.